So this morning I am getting ready to go to a birthday party. My friend's son, who is turning 5 years old. And I just got to thinking about kids and just how amazing they are and just how much we can learn from them. And also thinking about the fact that every person that you see was a child once. We were all children. We all grew from babies to adults. And there's some things that children just emanate and just are naturally that we can learn from them. So there's not really a misconception, but sort of this idea that, adults teach the kids. And yeah, you learn from your teachers and everyone in your life, but really you learn from every single person, whether it be a child or an adult. So just as much as, or maybe even more so, as adults teach children, children can teach us so many things. So I didn't really plan exactly what I was gonna say. I just kind of was thinking about ideas on a personal level. So I'm just going to say whatever I feel in the moment really for this. So first of all, something that we can learn from kids is to be in the moment. So if you just observe a child playing, they are fully in the moment. They are just in whatever they're doing, whether it's pretend play, art, anything. They're not thinking about what they're gonna have to do later or the past that already happened. They are right there being present with whatever it is they're doing. And I just love watching kids doing this. I just being. It's so inspiring. And like I mentioned before, we were all kids before. So we all have that inside of us, that potential to be fully present. So it's just a reminder, when you watch them and just observe and play and be present with kids, just that is just so wise. That knowing that they just are. So being present for sure is a big one. Another one is to just create and just to be themselves. So kids are at this state where they don't care what anyone thinks about them. They don't care, at least at certain ages before maybe their mind gets filled with things, but for the most part, I'd say they just are who they are. And it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. They are very honest. They just say what they mean, and they're comfortable being themselves. So, in society and everything, and depending on where you live, there's all of these ideals of what's the norm and what we're supposed to be doing and blah, blah, blah. But really, we all are unique, and we all have gifts to share and just uniqueness to share with the world. So kids fully embrace their uniqueness, and we can learn that from them just by fully being ourselves and not caring what people are going to think about it. Just being us, knowing as long as we're not hurting anyone, we're intentionally, as long as we're honoring ourselves and just being ourselves, then that's enough. So that's another thing we can learn from kids, how to be authentically ourselves and not care what people think about it. Something else that kind of goes hand in hand with that is that kids just create, and they're not worried about how it's gonna look or anything like that. So we can learn that too, just to create without worrying about how it's gonna turn out, just to do it for the sake of creating, for the sake of making art, even if we're with other people, not sometimes I've noticed myself, I'll be like, I'm not a good drawer or something like that. That is totally unnecessary. Who cares? Kids don't care. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna draw a house, but I'm worried about how it's gonna look. Like, no, they just draw the house. They just do it. They just draw whatever they want. You know, with paints too, like just they'll explore and just create, and it doesn't matter. They're not worried about how it's gonna look or thinking that it's not good enough or anything like that. So that's something else that we can learn from kids, how to create and just to do it and to not worry about how it's going to turn out or anything like that, just to create for the sake of creating and to enjoy it. So we can learn that from kids. And actually yesterday I made this vision board, and I just put some different quotes and then added to it with affirmations. And anytime I do something like that, like, you know, I'm doing this with intention and with the intention of utilizing these affirmations that I made for myself, and just, you know, bringing into fruition things that I want to create in my life. But also when I'm in the act of doing it, like, I just was present with it, you know, and I just cut out things from magazine that felt good. I wrote what felt good, and it felt so good, so great to do that. And kids just do that. I mean, that's something else that we can learn from them, just to create for the sake of creating for fun. And let's see, so we said presence. Oh, to not take life so seriously. As adults, we can get caught up. I mean, at least I can sometimes. I know that. Just, what do I have to do? Like, I have to do this, getting caught up, taking, you know, and we don't need to take life so seriously. Jordan, I'll open it in a second. We don't need to take life so seriously. Yes, I mean, it's important to, you know, go for what we want and to, you know, be helpful with others, and just take care of what we have to take care of in our life. But we don't have to take it so seriously. It doesn't have to be stressful. Like, if we have a routine of going to the gym, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I gotta go. Like, we can make it fun and not serious. You know, we can make anything fun, really. So yeah, they just have the ability to make things fun and just to not take things so seriously, which is definitely something that we can learn from them, just to have fun. And with that, play. Kids play. We as adults need to play too. Just, you know, goes hand in hand with that. Like, it's not all about working and making a living and that's it. Like, no, we deserve to have fun and play and go do things that we enjoy, and without feeling guilty about it. Like, just go have fun, do what you want to do. Just because you get to a certain age or anything, it doesn't mean you have to stop playing. In fact, it's beneficial. And if you do play, then all of the other things in your life will enhance as well. You know, you'll be more productive. You'll get more things done as well, because you're playing, you're giving yourself that time and taking care of yourself. Kids just play. I remember when I was little, I would always be pretend playing, just like kids. Like, I was an only child for a while. Years ago when my parents were together, and till about like 10 years old, I was an only child. And so I had to get creative and play, and I loved playing with friends, but a lot of times I was playing by myself at home, and I would just make things up, like make games up. You know, utilize what toys I had, sometimes not even use toys at all. So just play. It's important, whether you play and go do something on your own for fun, or you go with friends. Just play is really important, and we can learn that from kids as well. That was coming. There was something else too. When I was speaking of play, I thought of it. Let's see, what was it? Play. I mean, those are pretty big ones to learn from kids, just to play and enjoy ourselves. And oh, that was the other one, imagination. Kids are using their imagination, and not even just for fun, but when you use your imagination, you are showing yourself in your mind what's possible. So even like this vision board is like, I'm visualizing what I want to create in my life. And your mind knows no difference when you, in your brain, your subconscious knows no difference as to what's happening right now or what you are imagining in your mind. So if you aren't visualizing what you want to create and also using your imagination in that way, using your imagination to create, using your imagination to envision what you want in your future, that is so powerful. And kids just do that all the time. And they use their imagination for play too, which is a form of creativity. So it's just really fascinating. And especially when kids, they just play and they pretend. Something I did when I was little, like I would pretend to be whatever like I wanted to be when I grew up at the time. So I would like pretend to be a singer, or pretend to be a therapist, or pretend to be a teacher, and just like play and use my imagination. And just doing that was like really embodying those things. Like I was embodying something that I wanted in the future. So we can do that too, you know, really thinking about what we want in our lives and starting to embody that. What energy does that have? What does that feel like? What do I need to do to become this, to step into that role? So yeah, kids just do that. They use their imagination, and they use their imagination for their art, for their play, for in the way that they speak and everything. And it's just such a beautiful way to live and to watch. And just, if anything at all to take with you, is that we were all kids once, and we can all tap into that. We can all tap into that part of us that's playful, that's, you know, tune into our innocence, like not feeling guilty or worried or about anything in the past, you know, just fully being in the moment, fully just trying our best and just having fun. So yeah, there's a lot we can learn from kids, and being present. So I invite you to think about that today. You know, what can we learn from kids? And next time you are around a child, really be present with them, really listen to what they have to say. You will learn something. I can guarantee you will learn something. They are just amazing, and each age has something to offer. I love hanging out with kids, and I love hanging out with adults. I mean, all ages. You can learn something from someone at any stage of life, and any person in general. So I'm gonna leave you with that thought. Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.